and welcome back to my channel. First off, new area of the house has been unlocked. Let me figure out in real quick. First off, this is our first video of the new year, period. Okay. Is it? You know what? This might be our second video of the new year. Who cares? Second of all, I finally got my couch. You probably can't even tell because the couch is white, cream, beige, and it blends in with the doggone wall. Next time y'all see me, hopefully, I hope and pray I have pictures put up difference. But oh my gosh, y'all, it's been months since I moved to the big ATL. I've had a time of having me. My birthday past year is 28, which I'm just having such a good time. I'm living life and I have no complaints. But that's not what y'all are here for. Y'all are here because this is our first reading wrap up of the year. Okay? And not only that, but I read 11 books this month. I've had such a good month. Mind you, today I'm filming it on the 26th. So I might get one more book in. I don't know yet. I might get one more book in. And if I do, kudos to me. If I don't, y'all already know I'm going to put it into next month's video. But anyway, starting off very strong. The Illusion of Power by J.L. Seegers. So book is a spicy contemporary romance, and it follows the future first lady. Her name is Celine Taylor, and during the months of her husband's campaign, her husband's name is Aubrey, she just kind of realized like that not who she thought he was, right? She finds out that he's not who she thought she was, or yeah, he's not who she thought he was. This book was so good. Okay, so it was so good, right? And I don't know if you've never heard of this book. They compare this book to Scandal a lot, which is kind of what made me and one of my book besties like decide buddy read it. I love Scandal. I love Scandal down. I love Miss Olivia Pope. You can't tell me nothing about her, okay? See why they did this. First off, this is also a poly romance, okay? I can see why people relate this to Scandal, baby. Scandal ain't got nothing. Nathaniel on this book right here. This book was full of grief. It was full of trauma. It was full of drama and trauma. Okay, it was just a really, I'm not gonna lie, I thought that I was gonna have to DNF this book starting off because to me it started off so slow. Mind you, it started off slow until page 50. So to me, y'all, but it was so slow that I didn't even realize I wasn't even to page 50 yet. Baby, I kid you not, page 53? You say, oh, wait a minute, let me put some up. Okay, yeah. And now, baby, when I got to page 50, I locked in so fast, and I finished that book at least a day later. That book, oh my God, it was so good. It had twists, it had turns, there was betrayal. And then, not to mention, this is my first book by J.L. Seegers. She had a very poetic way of writing. Like, she had a way of writing that made me, I don't know, it was just really beautiful. Enjoyed her actual writing style. And I don't say that often, like, the style was very, I wish I had a better way to put than beautiful, but that's really all I can say. It was better than beautiful. I don't know, poetic is beautiful. But I really enjoyed part 2 of this book, which is A Taste of Sin. That's the second book of the series. And mind you, all I put was my first 5-star of the year. Hell yeah. So that tells you this was my first 5-star of the year. Mind you, I read this book on January 7th, I believe. I was 7 days into the new year. I had my first 5-star book, 5-star year. That was perfection, okay? From the love to the struggle to all the lies, all the twists, all the turns, the plot, the way the book was written, the main characters. To this day, it will forever be F. Aubrey. And that was when I realized that this book genuinely had nothing on Scandal. Or Scandal has nothing on this book. The things that made to get into office was diabolical, evil, and quite frankly, I have nothing else to say. If you have kids, you will understand why I say what I say when I said it. That book was crazy. That book was great. And I love that book because it didn't just focus on the love. It was just such a good amount of plot and love. It was really good. I'm not gonna hold y'all. Then the next book that I read was Shadow Obsession by Evelyn Leigh. Now I gave that 3.5 stars. So the book was really good. This book follows made as a dark comedy. Now my first like chapter, right, is if first off it follows the main character. The FMC name is Deidre, and then the MMC, his name is Cesar. I think his name is Cesar. So, like I said, it's labeled a dark comedy, right? So the first chapter shows like Deidre, and she's like, give her like final speech, and she's like, if you don't find me, it's just like this sick, evil, twisted man filled my car up with gas, right? Like that's how it kind of starts off with. Starts off with like, baby, I can't take you so serious, because what kind of sick, twisted individual would ever take your car and fill it up with gas, right? And so I'm super, super excited. Then as I get more into the book, I don't know, I just started to feel like something was missing between the love and the plot. Like I said, it follows Deidre. She runs the family business of liquor. And the family business like also includes like doing things that Deidre doesn't like agree with. And Cesar, he is like a PI. And it starts with like him supposed to be trying to get like the scoop on her. In the midst of like trying to get the scoop on her, he ends up following her. And it's just, something just felt like it was missing. It felt like the back and forth banter, it was good, but I don't know if it was like it ended too quickly. The resolution was unrealistic. It just felt like it was missing something. It really did. Now, this also was the author's like debut novel, I believe. It was like her second. Actually, no, I don't think it's her debut. It's her second book that she ever wrote. And for it to be her second book, it was really good. Like there was no grammatical. It was just, but it is something with like the love. Just kind of off, but I did have a good time. Like I said, I laughed in the beginning. It was certain parts that it was like, girl, I know exactly why you feel how you feel. That's why I gave it a 3.5. But it was really good though. The next book I read was The Butterfly Garden by Dot Hutchison. This book I gave 4 stars. So this is more of like in the mystery thrillers category. And this book follows a young lady, and basically this book is about a guy, they call him the gardener, and he has a garden full of butterflies. And the butterflies are young women who have been attacked, like brutally attacked, and he buries into his garden, and he makes butterflies, and he makes them like his collection. This is one of those books where I strongly, highly, like really hope and suggest that I really, really hope and pray that you guys check your triggers before you read this book, because this book can be very triggering. This book, it was short, but it was packed with so much emotion. It was a really, really, really sad book, almost an even sadder ending, because it just kind of follows this girl and how she kind of was able to survive. Like, can you even really say she survived when you see the things that she went through? Yeah, this was a book, but it was just so intense, and yeah, I just really, really suggest that you check your triggers when you read this book. But it was a very good book, and I'm glad that I read it. And it is part of like a collection, part of a series, but it is a standalone. It is own. Like you don't have to read any book after it, if you get what I'm saying. Like once you read this book, you don't have to read anything else to follow it. But yeah, that's really all you need to know. Yeah. So the next book I read was a Frida McFadden book called The Locked Door. I know how y'all thought Frida McFadden, y'all either love her or you hate her, but I give this book 4 stars. So The Locked Door follows the FMC, her father had like a basement, and she knew that her father was essentially like, you know, unaliving young women in basement. So he ends up going to jail. Years later, she changes her last name. She becomes a totally different woman, and she commits her life to saving women until one day the police come knocking at her door because they realize that some of the young women who were part of her practice end up passing away the same way that her father was unaliving them. So it kind of follows that. But this book I gave it 4 stars. It was typical Frida McFadden art. I don't think I've ever given the Frida McFadden book 5 stars, but I also can't see it being less than 3. So anytime you read a Frida McFadden book, in my opinion, it's going to be between that 3 and 4 star mark. You might give it a 3, 3.5, or 4 stars. Yeah, it was good ahead of time, so that's all that matters. So the next book I read was my second 5-star book of the year. Can y'all believe we read 2 5-star books in 1 month? Crazy. So the next book I read was When I Think of You by Maya Ariel. This is my first book by this author. And this book follows Kalia and Danny. So Kalia and Danny, they met in college. They were like both into like films and movie makers and stuff like that. Kalia, she ends up being like a desk receptionist type of woman, like not what she imagined her being. Danny ends up being like a high profile director, and he offers Kalia a job. They run into each other. He offers her a job, and it kind of becomes like where they decide between their careers or each other. When I tell you, this book was written so beautifully, not just the actual life of the characters, but the actual story as well. The writing of the love, because not only do they have to like choose between themselves, they, like I said, Danny offers her a job to work on his film set, and his film set is a film production of the love of his parents. So you're not just love of him and Kalia, but you're following the love of his parents as well, and just like what love means to him, like how he saw their love unravel, how he saw their love, just everything about their love, and just what he perceives love to be, and how he looks at love. I genuinely want this to be a movie. I feel like this is one of those like movies within a movie book. It was so beautiful, so good. My chest caved in too many times if you ask me. But it still was like put me together. It made a beautiful masterpiece. Danny and Kalia forever. And one of my favorite quotes was, "Love isn't supposed to hurt." Because I agree. Like, love is not one of those things that's like just supposed to be painful. It shouldn't be hard. I understand that it has hard times. I understand that it has painful moments. But the action itself, it shouldn't be hard and it shouldn't be painful. And I think they go through so much, like with grief and like understanding each other. Because like I said, they met in college, or maybe I didn't say that. They met in college. So not only are you realizing that you're still in love with that person that you met in college, but now you have to learn how to love this new person that you meet as an adult. And sometimes they can be hard, they can be challenging, and especially if you've gotten over the things that formed you from college, if you get what I'm saying. So this book was really, really good. Really, I'm happy that I read this book, and I can't wait to read more books by this author because it was just so good. So then I read Caught Up by Nevesta Allen. So I gave that book 3 stars. I did read Lights Out. Maybe it was probably even like the year before. Whenever Lights Out came out, I read it like shortly after that. And I think I gave Lights Out like 4 or 5 stars. I loved Lights Out. It was the perfect comedy. I love Josh. I love Allie. Excuse me. This book follows Junior, and I can't even remember the FMC's name. But I gave it 3 stars, but I honestly found myself liking the side characters a lot more than I found myself liking the main characters. And it wasn't that I didn't like the main characters. I just didn't care about them. Like, I genuinely did not. I couldn't care less. The storyline was okay. What was okay? I feel like the ending was so rushed. Like, the resolution that they came to me just felt very unrealistic. But I love seeing Allie and Josh. I love Nona. I loved Taylor. Taylor was my girl. Every time Taylor came to the scene, I said, yeah, because that was my girl. I see myself in Taylor. I see my best friend in Taylor. Like, I love Taylor down. Nona was hilarious. I wish I had a Nona. I wish I had a Nona that was like, no, Nona was funny. But yeah, like the actuals, I just didn't care. But I will always say, the voice actors, like the audio was mind you, I'm telling you, I did not care about the main characters. I did not care about their story, but the audiobook was still phenomenal. If I could like change, like if I could separate the audio from the book, Because like a good audio is the voices, it's the way they talk, the way they act, the way they like chuckle. Like instead of saying she chuckled, you actually chuckle and say like ha ha she chuckled. You feel me? Like ha ha she chuckled. You ha ha and you chuckle. Like you say it. And I feel like that makes like a difference when it comes to a voice actor. So the voice actors were really, really good. I would even argue like the voice actors probably made the book a 5, but the actual story made it a 3. I really didn't care about the story. I feel like Lights Out was way better than Caught Up. I could have went without Caught Up. But yeah, 3 stars. Accidentally Hooked Up with a Vampire by Jessica Cage. Y'all know I accidentally summoned a demon. Last year that was 5 stars. So I accidentally hooked up with a vampire by Jessica Cage. I gave that 4 stars. Now, did I really like it? Yes. My only gripe with it was I felt like we didn't. Now it even said this was insta love. Like it says it like vampires fall in love fast. And you see that they fall in love very, very fast. You know what? Should I tell y'all what the book was about? Duh. You know what? Actually, no, I shouldn't because it's in the name. The book showed like a woman. She accidentally hooks up with a vampire. There's nothing else to say. Whatever. The main character, the FMC and the MMC. I really like the book, but I just feel like it was insta love, but it was a different type of insta love. Because I'm not against insta love. I've read insta love books and I've loved them. I just feel like this was almost too insta love. Like I didn't get to see the love progress. I definitely enjoyed Matisse and Raina's books a lot more. And I'm happy that you get to see like a little bit of Matisse and Raina in this book. But one thing about Jessica Cage, that girl is funny because the way she reacts, the way the main character reacts to certain situations, it's like that's exactly how I would act. Like exactly. And when she finds out that she's messing with a vampire, she's like, see, that's messed up right there because it's like I get yes, that's messed up. Why would you not tell me you a vampire from the get-go? Why would you come into my life and mess with me like this? Like I understood exactly what she meant. But I just didn't like that I didn't get to see their love blossom a little bit more. I didn't get to understand it because mind you, the vampire and the FMC's best friend, you see their relationship blossom more than you see him and the FMC blossom. So I'm getting to see how the best friend is able to connect and adapt to you being a vampire, but I don't get to see how your female love interest adapts to you as a vampire. I don't know. Maybe I'm being big. I don't know. But that's why I gave it 4 stars. But I really, really enjoyed it. And I'm going to definitely read the Shadow Walker book. I'm going to put all 3 of these together. First off, this was sent to me by an author. Her name is Dessa Moore. Claimed by a Grittyville legend. My goodness. This is a urban, hood, ghetto, fairy tale, love story, good old time. Mind you, I have not been to the hood in a minute. I ain't been to the hood since last year, baby. I missed it. So when I came into this and I see all the rah ruckus going on, baby, I'm having a time. First off, book one was like a 3.5, right? Because you're getting introduced to characters, you understand what's going on, you're getting some background, woo. But there were grammatical errors. I won't lie to you, there were grammatical errors. But that storyline was so good. One thing about that lady, she wrote a amazing storyline. That storyline was so good, baby. I ain't give no care about no dog on. Baby, I could care less about a dog on grammatical error. I'm sorry, I could care less. But so good. Then it ends on a cliffhanger. Rest and I'm going to book 2. Book 2 had so much trauma, turmoil, pain that it was 4 stars easily. Me and my book bestie, we going back and forth. When I tell y'all that lady had me on the edge of my seat, gripping. I'm so glad that I was snowed in that whole time because baby, I wouldn't have been able to live with myself. I finished that whole series, 3 books. They're all under 200 pages. Finished it 2 days. 2 days, baby. After I finished book 2. I went to book 3, mind you, it was 2 a.m. Baby, by 9 a.m. the next morning, finished. Oh my God, so good. 4 stars. Oh my God, Miss Dessa Warren, I'm so grateful that she was even like, I'm so glad that she even offered for me to read those books. I need the physicals tomorrow. Miss Dessa Moore, if you see this, I need the physicals yesterday. That series was so good. It was everything I needed. I had an amazing time. It was fun. It was funny. The main characters, you bonded with them. You loved them. Mind you, I hated the MMC. Me and my book bestie, we hated that MMC. We was talking mad crap. And then once we got to the end, I said, baby, I love this. I love him. This was a good, grand, ghetto, fabulous time. And that's another thing. Like the book even says that this is a ghetto, fabulous love story. And I love that. We ain't gotta not be ghetto. Sometimes it's okay to be ghetto. And that was a great time to be ghetto. It was an amazing time. Oh my God, y'all, I can talk about that book for a minute. That book was so good. But yes, it was 3 books. And y'all, I had an amazing time. And I'm just so excited to see what 2026 brings me when it comes to the books. Because I don't know if I told y'all like some of my book, like goals, like some of them is to be like more, I don't know, we'll talk about that later. But I had an amazing time. And I'm just so happy, y'all. We made it to 2026. Thank y'all for sticking with me. Thank y'all for being here. And I know I say this all the time. I really, really, really promise. Like, I really plan on showing up more. I'm just nervous. I'm nervous. And in 2026, we're not going to let nervousness be our answer. We're not going to let it be our excuse. We're not going to let it stop us. But we're going to acknowledge that we're nervous. And with that being said, I do plan on bringing more to the table. I promise. But I hope y'all had a great time. Thank y'all for sticking with me. I hope y'all enjoyed my video. And until next time, make sure you comment, like, subscribe. How many books did you read this week? Have you read any of the books that I've mentioned? Do you plan on reading any of them? And until next time, bye.